Raider Nation, hit that subscribe button. If you think the Raiders will trade for Aaron Rodgers, I don't want you to miss it. We're going to be going live 12 straight hours. It's going to be insane. Hell, I think it's going to be so insane that even Davante Adams, he liked the tweet of if the Raiders trade for Aaron Rodgers, we're going live. This all just cements the fact that when we went live last year from when the Raiders traded for Davante Adams, he was watching, and that's the show that he was talking about, ours. So I promise you this, you do not want to miss it. So let's talk about Rodgers, and then we're going to get into 4 blockbuster trades to figure out how we can get him under center. Schefter, last week, Rodgers and the Packers know a trade is a very real scenario this offseason. Pat McAfee said that trade is possible, but it's going to be costly. And then you got Rap Sheet, said that the way that his contract is structured, a trade is possible. I would say the 3 people who I look at being probably the most tied into Rodgers, Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, Pat McAfee. All 3 for 3, said that a trade is possible. So, okay, trade's possible. Then Aaron Rodgers 2 days ago said that it sounds like there are already conversations going on that aren't involving me, which are interesting. I'm confident that a couple of weeks, I'll feel definitely more strongly about one of the 2 decisions. One of the reasons why Rodgers was so upset last offseason is because he wanted to be involved in conversations. He does not want to be a part of a rebuild. So if Rodgers is feeling some type of way, it wouldn't surprise me if he's on the way out. Also, man, we put out a video yesterday. Rodgers potentially moving to Las Vegas. It got a lot of smoke. We know where there's smoke, there can be fire. And then what did Davante Adams do? He started stoking that fire. Las Vegas locally, who we mentioned in the video and linked in that video in terms of, hey, they said Rodgers apparently moved to Summerlin, Las Vegas. Davante says that, yes, Aaron Rodgers is going to be moving to my neighborhood. Where's Davante's neighborhood? Summerlin, Las Vegas. Ian Rappaport had this to say on a potential Rodgers trade. Because of the way his contract is structured, a trade is possible. You could do it financially. You could come up with compensation. I think Green Bay likes what they have in Jordan Love. I mean, they did trade up to get him at number 26 overall. Ian Rappaport on a Rodgers trade. So if they got the right package, giggity, I think they could do a deal. It would be $60 million for 1 season. Somebody would pay him. That is what he is on the books for, cash, next season. It's a lot of money, right? No doubt about it. But the way that his contract is structured, don't just think of it as $60 million, because if the Raiders pull off the deal, it's actually a lot less. And let me explain it to you because it's super confusing. According to Over the Cap, here's Rodgers' contract. For the team acquiring Rodgers, they would have to be on the hook for the salary for the year. The cap charge would be $59.5 million if they do not exercise his option. I'm telling y'all right now, if the Raiders were to trade for Aaron Rodgers, they would exercise his option. So $15.79 million. Rodgers has an injury guarantee of $49.25 million for 2024. I want you to think of that number as very similar to what the Raiders currently have with Derek Carr, right? If he's injured, then you got to pay him. But you're not making a trade with an injured Aaron Rodgers, so let's try not to worry about it. If Rodgers was cut after the 2023 season, it would cost the team $43.725 million. Let's face it, you're not going to cut Aaron Rodgers if you make a trade. Here's where it does get a little bit risky. If he retired, they could split that as $14.575 million in 2024 and then $29.15 million in 2025. Using a similar June 2nd date as mentioned above in the retirement option. So, yes, trading for Aaron Rodgers comes with risk. It's going to take draft capital. It's going to take some money. And somebody who has thought about retiring so much, it does. It makes me a little bit easy. In fact, thinking about it as much as I have, my stomach has just been tossing and turning. But luckily, my gut health is probably the healthiest it's ever been. Shout out to today's sponsor, AG1. I want us all to just get on a healthier journey together. We party hard here on the Raiders Report, but we got to start taking care of ourselves. So the Raiders Report is sponsored by Athletic Greens. I take AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every day. Get comprehensive, convenient daily nutrition at athleticgreens.com/chatsports. I gave AG1 a try because I wanted immune system support and one of the supplements that actually tastes great. I take AG1 in the morning, and it makes me feel ready to take on my day. My grandma always said the early bird gets the worm, and AG1 inspires and motivates me to get as many worms as possible every day. AG1 really helps me get my day started. Getting out of bed, especially when you're on Aaron Rodgers trade watch all night and you get 2 hours of sleep, it's not easy getting up. And I'm a person who likes and needs a routine. AG1 helps me stick to my healthy routine. Wake up early, take my AG1, take Chuck for a little walk, and then hit the gym before work. Covering my nutritional basis for the day literally couldn't be easier, which is why I trust Athletic Greens. I just mix 1 small scoop of AG1 with water and drink it first thing each morning. Done. I also like that it costs less than $3 a day. It's pretty good if you ask me. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality sourced ingredients. Win-win. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is trying to give you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Check it out. Link's going to be in the comments and in the description of today's video. Huge shout out to Athletic Greens for sponsoring the Raiders Report. I know Aaron Rodgers is kind of a health freak, so Rodgers, if you get traded to the Raiders, I'm going to send you a box of Athletic Greens on the house and on the Raiders Report. So coming up here, y'all, we got 4 different trade ideas, and I did it based on, I got a listicle for it. There's like 4 different scenarios in terms of what type of trades could end up going down. But first, we got to talk about the trade that went down last offseason when the Raiders, they got Davante Adams. The Green Bay Packers, they received the number 22 overall pick and the number 53 overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. I was on social media late last night, probably about 1:30 in the morning, and I asked the question because I do think that this is relevant. With the Raiders already made a huge trade with the Green Bay Packers, a first and a second round pick. And I'm going to ask you, will a Rodgers trade cost more than a Davante Adams trade? So do you think to get the 4-time NFL MVP, it's going to cost more than a first and a second round pick? Or do you think, Mitch, he's up there in age, he's coming off a bad year, and the contract stinks, it's not going to cost as much? According to Twitter, they think it would cost less. Me, on the other hand, I'm not necessarily sure what would happen. So coming up, I got 4 Aaron Rodgers trade ideas. And a lot of the time, when I do this show, I do it based off of what I think McDaniels, what I think Ziegler, what I think that they would try to do, right? Like, that's what I try. Today, I'm going to crumble all that up, and I'm going to throw it out the window. I'm going to give you 4 trades as if I'm sitting in the room. I'm making the deals happen. These are the 4 trades that I would try to pull off with the Green Bay Packers to get Aaron Rodgers under center. The first one is this. The Packers are looking for draft picks, okay? They're looking for draft picks. They're trying to rebuild, and they're trying to look forward to their future. With that in mind, I'm thinking, okay, if they want draft picks and they want the future, if I'm going to make a deal for Rodgers, I'm trying to win right now. So if I have to give up more in the future to help me win right now and assure that my head coach, my general manager is going to be around next season, this is trade number 1 that I would offer. Raiders get Aaron Rodgers. The Green Bay Packers, who, if you trade away Rodgers in my book, you're not trying to win, you're trying to build for the future. They're going to get a first-round pick in 2024. I'll also throw in a second-round pick in 2024, and then I'll also throw in a 4th-round pick in 2024. That then ensures the Raiders have all their picks in 2023 to try to make something work. And if you do make the playoffs, and then if you do end up winning a lot of football games, well, shit, you might actually have a good football team. And not that the picks don't matter. The picks always matter. But the biggest important thing is you get to keep your job going into the next season. So what do you think here? Who wins this trade? Do you think it's the Las Vegas Raiders or do you think it's the Green Bay Packers? If you think it's the Raiders, I want you to type Raiders. If you think it's the Packers, don't be shy. That's what the nation's about. We're a family. Let's have a good conversation. Let's have an honest conversation. Who wins this trade? Raiders or the Packers? Okay. The Packers say, well, Mitch, give me another deal. All right, fair enough. Sounds good to me. We hop back on the phone. Packers are like, I want a pick and I want a player. The Raiders, I'd have that conversation. I'm like, well, depends who you're going to get. The contract is a little bit unfriendly on my end. So if I got to give up 1 pick and I got to give up a player, Raiders receive Aaron Rodgers. The Green Bay Packers get the number 7 overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. and they also get Hunter Renfrow. I'll tell you this right now. If Rodgers comes to the Raiders, I'm almost going to book it that Randall Cobb is going to be signed to the Silver and Black. One of his best friends. Like, Randall Cobb is, like, that's Rodgers' guy. And he's going to be a free agent in 2023. So I think if Rodgers comes to the team, yeah, losing Renfrow is going to stink. No doubt about it. But I do think you can try to replace him with Randall Cobb. Also, Cobb does offer some special teams ability. And Renfrow had a lot of injuries last year. Losing Renfrow sucks. But also, I think you can try to replace him with Randall Cobb, and only giving up one pick in Renfrow, it is what it is. So who wins this trade? Is it the Las Vegas Raiders or Green Bay? And watching this video, it's going to be very, very important for you to type what I ask. That way, I know which trade you're talking about. So if you want this trade to go down, trade idea number 2, I want you to type Las Vegas, or I want you to type Green Bay. I also think Green Bay would be intrigued by this deal because if you got a young quarterback like Jordan Love, and he's the guy that you're going to be rolling with, a great safety blanket for a young quarterback would be Hunter Renfrow. So, also Hunter Renfrow, great friends with Rich Bisaccia. At number 3, my third trade idea. Let's get crazy, right? I mean, that's what this show's about. I don't do this show to be mediocre. I don't do this show to be plain and vanilla. But to me, there is a scenario, and it might be crazy. What happens if Jordan Love's like, I don't want to play for the Packers anymore. Y'all just kind of did me dirty. Rodgers is out the door. Rich Bisaccia pokes his head in. So, oh, wait, I helped get the Raiders to the playoffs with Derek Carr. I want Derek Carr on this team. They got a new OC. I mean, to me, it's not the craziest thing. So this one involves no draft picks. I wanted to do something completely different. If I was Green Bay and I said, all right, you're going to trade for Derek Carr, I would also want the guys who Derek's been very good with. So you send Darren Waller. You send Hunter Renfrow over to Green Bay for Derek. The Raiders get Aaron Rodgers, and you get an offensive guard, left guard, and Jon Runyan. The reason why Jon Runyan is in this to me is he is a really good pass blocker. He's in terms of the running game. But Jon Runyan's also going to be a free agent in 2024. So if you think that, okay, we're not going to be able to have Jon Runyan back after the 2024 season, you can make it happen. We know the Raiders need offensive line help. Dylan Parham, sure, he played left guard. He can also play center. He can also play right guard. So by making this deal, you have essentially the whole left side of your offensive line, Colt Miller, Jon Runyan figured out. Maybe you keep Andre James. Then you got Dylan Parham. Okay, you could even bring back somebody like Jermaine Illuminor. Your offensive line is fixed. Does losing Waller and Renfrow hurt? Yes. Those guys also were injured a lot and really did not get too much work for the Raiders last season. So this is the third idea if I'm throwing out if we don't want to give up any picks. And remember that old report. The Raiders want to bring in their guys, and teams are going to keep their eyes out for Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow. That's why they are involved in this. Who wins this trade? This one's wild, right? LVR for the Las Vegas Raiders or GBP. When I think of what trade helps out both teams the most, I'm not shitting you. I think it's this one, man. Let's go to the final trade. And I know Jeremy, big three-way guy, right? Who wants and who likes a good three-way? From what I understand, most three-ways, they go down in New Orleans. So this is a crazy one, and I get it. Like, this is the one that I want people to share on social media because personally, if this trade goes down, it's my favorite one, and I think it's the best thing for the Raiders. So we got a three-way trade. The Raiders get Aaron Rodgers. They trade Derek Carr to the New Orleans Saints for the Saints' number 29th pick. The Saints just got the number 29 pick in the deal that they made with Sean Payton. The Green Bay Packers, they get the number 7, the number 38, and then the 138 pick, all from the Raiders. Just giving up your first, second, and fifth kind of stinks, sure. But if you're telling me I can come away in a draft, and I can come away in an offseason, getting Aaron Rodgers, and then still having a first-round pick, I mean, where the hell do I sign up for that? This is my favorite one. It's also the craziest. I'm not going to lie to you, but y'all knew that. So who wins this trade? LV, GB, NO, does everybody win? I'm just curious. I know it's insane. If you want to take screenshots of these, shout out to the people that make graphics on Instagram. If you want to make graphics on IG, add me as a collaborator. I'm all about it. First one that does it, though, hey, you're going to be the one that I shared. Hit me up on IG at Mitchell Renz 365. All right, so here we go. What I'm going to do real quick here is I'm going to roll through all the trades because I see a lot of people talking about all four of them. So what I want to try to do is this. I want to try to figure out which deal is your favorite. So we're going to walk through this slow. right? Trade idea 1. If this is your favorite trade idea out of the 4, all you got to do, you're smart enough, type 1. If it's the second deal where we're giving up a number 7 overall pick and Hunter Renfrow, well then, hey, you can type 2. I think a crazy one, no doubt. Trade idea number 3, which I think in terms of keeping your draft picks and both sides are very happy, I would do this one. I'm going to be real with y'all. This is a deal that I would 100% do. Or is it number 4, where you get a first-round pick, you also get Aaron Rodgers, sure. You ship off number 7, you ship off number 38 and 138, but you're getting Aaron Rodgers and you still end up with a quarterback, or you still end up with a first-round pick. Sure, it's late, but you still get at least one. Let me know your favorite trade idea, and no matter what happens, y'all, know that I rock with you, I rep with you. We got almost 2,000 people watching the show live, and if you missed it live, it's all good. Hit the subscribe button, turn on those notifications. I will promise you one thing. If the Raiders do pull off a trade, and if the Raiders pull off one of these trades, whoo, it's going to be an insane show on the Raiders Report. I know Davante Adams wants it. At least that's what he's making it seem like. And I think a lot of y'all do too. So hopefully you enjoyed that segment. More blockbuster trades coming up here on the Raiders Report. Don't want you to miss anything, so hit that subscribe button.